This painting is one of my famous locations. It's the train yard.
You said it's called Out to Bomb.
Out to Bomb, yes. And
Is this any particular yard?
this is the Coney Island train yard. Famous yard. I loved it. I loved it so much because you had all the BMT and IND trains.
Yes.
And those INDs, some of them went to the Bronx, like the D.
Letter lined
Yeah.
trains, as
Yes.
opposed to the number lined trains, which are the
Yeah.
IRTs.
And then you had the special Church Avenue shuttle trains that was there. If I'm not mistaken, I think 1976 or 75, they dismantled that whole program.
Okay.
Through BMT, which is Brooklyn Mass Transit.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, a lot of people don't know that Don and me, we became very close. Don 1, the one from Queens.
Yes, we also spoke about Don 1. Rest in peace to Don
His real
1.
name is Joseph Palatella. Joseph Palatella, even when he went painting, was neat. I never seen a neat graffiti writer. He makes sure that he doesn't get dirty. He will bring some things to clean his sneakers and everything. That's what he's doing.
He's a slick dude.
Yeah, slick. His hair. He gotta be all clean. He didn't like ruckus. He didn't like boisterous people. He was very, very who he select to take to the yard and who he paints with. I didn't like the idea of bringing 5 or 6 hoodlums and vandals holding onto the ring, kicking windows and using the fire extinguisher. And
It's not what you're there
no, that's
for.
Not, I was here to do beautiful art.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
There's an INCA right there.
And then the Don next door.
Now, what was Don's crew again? Don 1? Mafia?
Yeah, we only had nine members. I was number 7.
Okay.
And it was called Mafia. He started off with TGM, the Graffiti Masters.
Yes.
And then he diluted that, and he came with Mafia, which stands for the Masters Administration for the Incredible Artists.
The King from Queens.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Now, this is the Coney Island at night, and John Dewey High School. We used to cut through the handball court. There was
Okay.
a fence. This is the handball court.
Yes.
And we used to go through that fence there.
There you go.
Yes.
Great piece of work there.
Yes. So
Very descriptive.
Yeah, it has Clash, Chino 13, Dynamite Pinto, Repel, Mino, AS2, Danger 59, Easy 1, AFX, Joust, Bomb. Look at all these guys that use it. Dean, BYB.
So would that be Bomb 1?
Bomb 1, Albert Diaz.
Al Diaz, yes. Samo fame.
Samo, yes. But we're going to go and roll this way. Mm-hmm. This is I like to do the train yards different. I never went to this train yard, but the only reason why I'm intrigued with this.
That's the old TA sign, correct?
Yes, but
Before 68,
I
right?
call these trains the Star Wars trains or the ding dongs.
Right.
Because when the doors close, they went ding dong,
Yep.
ding dong, like that, and it was flat. They were I don't know, they were ugly, but then again, they were trying to make it futuristic. So they got famous guys like Uncle John and Tia. They destroyed the F
Yes.
and the E train and all that, whatever came out of Queens. And you had guys, CA, Captain America, that don't get recognitions. These guys don't get recognition. I don't see them a lot in books. The guy Nako, Sack, TMB, the Master Blasters.
Yes.
SAR, he's very good guys.
Yes.
And they is the Wiz, Vinny, 3YB.
Well,
Vinny
yeah.
went everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I think Vinny went to the moon.
3 Yard
Yes,
Boys.
I think he hit everything that existed.
Uncle John would hang out in the train stations along Queens Boulevard. And on 75th Avenue, as I mentioned, that's how I first entered this Jamaica yard, about 84. And we walked a mile through the tunnel, as I told you, because on the other side, it was very difficult to get over those fences. I didn't do much on the trains, but this is the first yard I ever went into. I think the only one. Possibly one other one in Brooklyn. But this is awesome. Yes, so Uncle John.
And look at this guys over here, Roto and Snack.
Okay.
Do you know they hit the F trains because they were from Park Slope? So they used to go to that 9th Street, 4th Avenue, and go to the tunnels and hit the idle train. They used to be the G train, everything there. Okay, so this is the Queens Yard. I wanted to get that quiet. That quiet thing, and you can tell the debris, the thing. People eat in the yard, they smoke, and
Yes.
they do everything in there. We've had paint parties We used to come with food, sandwiches, and heroes. Go inside the train, eat, and drink and everything. Then we go and paint.
What about these trains? They don't exist anymore, right? This is like a special model of train.
It was a special model train. I think some trains like the Brightliners, they gave us 55 years of service. These trains didn't give us a lot of service because it was too much. They were made by Grumman.
Okay.
They took the buses off. Remember that thing?
Yes.
They removed the buses and the Grumman trains.
So the TA that he has painted on there, that was the symbol up until 1968 when the MTA then took it over, but some of the TA trains still ran.
It still ran.
So
73.
you have some graffiti artists who will show you a picture of that train, they catch it, put a tag and say, look, I was riding on the trains in 1967. No. Those were leftovers. No one was riding on the outside of the train
You tell them
in 1967.
if a train is still running in 1981 and you go and tag your name in there, they're gonna say that.
Yes.
You know that was dissolved.
Because this is old school. That's the original, just the Transit Association. And then MTA took it over in 1968, did an overhaul, and that's how the story
and
goes.
I also love the old style of BMT.
Oh.
The green Brooklyn Mass Transit.
Okay, yes.
We're gonna go here to a. This is one of my first.
Beautiful coloring, Inca, beautiful coloring.
I had to jump the leap of faith. I jumped from the platform to go to 45th Street to go in the tunnel. You know, I contemplated. I was nervous. I had butterflies. I almost had diarrhea. You know, it was all mixed emotions.
Sure.
And the fucking guy kept saying, come on, Inca, man. You're holding us back. And I would go closer and I would try. And then I jumped.
There you go.
Once I jumped, and then you walk in that tunnel, you hear this.
Yeah. You took that leap of faith.
Yeah, I took the leap of faith, and then you walk in there, you hear and then you start learning when the
Yes.
clicking of the tracks. You hear they hear the train coming. We would hide and duck under the bottom of the train under here, so we won't get hit with the sparks.
Yes.
And this was Don and Inca. We used to go painting on it. I turned him on to this train station.
Yes, once again, Don 1 right
Don
there.
1, yes. And if you look at some photos of the real book, if you go Google it,
Yes.
these are real. What I did with my paintings
Yes.
are real graffiti pieces that I did in that era.
Yes, I've read that
You
Don
see?
book.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Yes, the Inca and all those these pieces.
Yes.
Was what I did. This is nothing new. This is not a new style. It's the style that I used back in the days. So this was the train. This is called Mystery Tunnel. Why I call this one Mystery Tunnel? Because when you jump from here, there you never know what's waiting for you. There used to be guys here, hoodlums, to rip your paint off.
Yes.
And your markers.
Bogart.
Yes. Sunday in the morning when they're ready, the conductor to get in here, and he finds that every train's disabled. You got to take all the trains out because they got broken windows and everything.
Yeah.
Now you know that Monday morning's delays because you see that slide. And if you have painted a train full and cover every window, the train wouldn't be leaving the platform either.
Right.
Because people can't see what stop they're getting off.
So artists got wise and they didn't want their work interfered with, so they began to work around that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Because I don't want to come out here and do this beautiful masterpiece on the side of the train, and then it's not going to roll out because of something foolish I did.
You see? You think you're doing something good, but nobody got to see it because they're going to take it to the train yard and clean it. But if you have graffiti down from the window down, they roll it out that day.
Right.
But if you do anything it's like putting obstruction on your car. You put the New York Red banner and you put all this stuff and you can't see where you're driving.
And you'll get pulled over.
And you get pulled over. So imagine all that, all those windows covered, and something happens with an accident, somebody thinks the door, he falls because he didn't see, you understand?
So when the Blockbuster came along from Comet and Blade and they covered the entire side of the car, how did those roll out?
I don't know how those rolled out. How about Lee doing a 7-car?
Yes.
You know, they rolled out.
So some
I
did
think
slip
there
through.
was politics.
Okay.
I think there was politics in this because
Okay.
they knew that Marshall Cooper, all these people, they take photography, so they knew if they were paying under the table or something to have this train roll out. Okay, here comes that train, and all the cameramen and all the people waiting to
Yes.
put this in books.
Like the famous Martha Cooper photo of Duster and Lizzie. That basically takes up all the windows, if I'm not that famous.
And how does
Duster.
Martha Cooper goes into the yard? How she goes into the yard to take pictures? She has to say, "Listen, I'm a photographer.
Yes.
You know, can you take
Yes.
me in there?"
Yes.
And then he stands there. All right, take your pictures.
Yes.
She's making a killing.
Martha was at White Columns
Yes,
as well.
Yes, they're making a killing with those photos. And there's people that have shoe boxes that still hasn't relinquished their photos.
Wow. Amazing.
I want to go into this. This is some crazy concept one day. I saw the box. And I
Oh,
told
the
us-
pizza box. Okay, so all three of these photos, all three of these are.
the pizza boxes. I have
Yes.
more.
Okay.
I have more, but each one is one of a kind.
Okay.
And all has, like, this one is the Al Capone birthday party.
Got you.
And they, instead of robbing a bank, they're robbing the pizzeria.
So you did your artwork over the pizzeria box
Yes.
design.
I added a story to and then like over here, this man's looking down. Hey,
Yes, yes.
He's this man. That woman was cheating, and he that's
Dingleberry Street.
Yeah, this is it. Dingleberry Street. Everything is Dingleberry Street. Yes, and you always see the same tag INCA on the wall here.
Sure.
You see?
He's referring to this
Now look
right
at
here.
look at the detail on this. This is the Walking Dead.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, and they're having a pizza fest. And you notice that they got gates on the cafe. You see how they serve you? Fresh hot pizza? Only humans allowed in the dining room. This guy, he got a hammer, he worked for Hess, and he's reading the comic book, issue number 1 of The Walking Dead.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
great.
Incredible.
He's enjoying that
You-
slice.
look at I got the comic book number 1.
Oh, they're all enjoying some slices.
Yeah, and these are married. Look, they just got married, right?
Yes.
And they find they tugging for that slice. They fighting for a slice of pizza.
On their honeymoon.
Happily ever
You
after.
see? You see? Instead of eating all the pizza there, look, they fight. Give me the fucking shit. You know? Look at her wedding dress. Oh, look at the you see
Yes,
all
Bride of Frankensteinish.
yeah. They all it looked like once upon a time she was beautiful. Look at this guy. How about the guy that works a doorman? He's looking for a tip. Anyway, this was inspired by the Coney Island, so I put all the freaks
Okay.
and I added
Yes, steeplechase.
Steeplechase Pizza Fest, Coney Island. And you got the lady with the boat, Dingleberry Street again. The little monkey
Organ
making
grinder.
delivery, yes. The guy, the magic man, is taking out the bunny, but the bunny's eating the pizza already. The lady that makes all the moves with the body, that she's double jointed or triple jointed, whatever. Look, she's eating the pizza with her toes.
Yes.
This guy's burning. He's just a fire guy. You know that fire that comes, so he's burning his pizza. This one is with the sword. Even the clown is up there. This is amazing. These are woods that I find in the. And I don't toy with them. I leave them the same condition, the way they are.
Yes.
And I wanted it. What I'm trying to create is like if you found this in a poster in an old restaurant that went out of business.
It's like the Mermaid Parade.
Yes, and this are original 1940s and 1950 advertising. Yes. So if you had a restaurant like me and Antonelli spoke, and you
Classic.
had like by Coney Island, this would be great. Imagine the casino, the lobby, you know, with all this in the lobby. You know, the Coney Island store with the beach balls and all that.
So where did you find these two pieces?
One piece I found in, I went to get White Castle in Coney Island,
Okay.
and I found it like by the sand.
At the White Castle?
No, I went to the boardwalk.
Okay,
And
okay.
When you go down below, you get to the sand, sometimes you see people throw out, there's
Sure,
wood. So
sure.
I took this one.
Okay.
And this one I found, I don't know where I found this one. But sometimes like you can go to First Avenue, like in Sunset Park, the factories, and you find old wood because they when they duct, factories, they throw
Right.
everything out.
So this one you found in the area where we see in the movie The Warriors.
Yes, yes. And these are original 1950s. once again,
This is the most recent piece.
Yes.
This is 2025 piece, right?
I saw. I saw Antonelli. I passed the house. Are you listening to the story?
I'm listening.
Yes.
I'm listening.
I passed by the house and I saw this wood. Now I walked all the way to my house. When I got to the door to stick the key, I said, no, I can use that wood. And I went all the way back to get it. And the thing is, this shit weighs like maybe 25 pounds. It weighs a lot.
So here, I keep hearing about this ride, the Himalayas, that was in Coney Island. Is
The
that
Himalaya, yes, the Himalaya was like, they had a DJ and then it would tell you that they would play music in there.
Yes, because they'd go to dance there. They
Yeah,
would.
and then the people used to hang out by the Himalaya.
Right. So what
Yeah.
was it exactly? Was it a ride or just?
It was a ride, like a roller coaster type of ride on rails, but it was mostly it would go around in a circle and then it would go backwards on you.
Got you.
So it was made like a roller coaster type of thing. You would strap on and it would go fast,
Right,
like
right.
60 miles an hour or something like that.
Because I don't remember that as a kid. Now the Cyclone, I remember banging my knee on really hard
No, I
when
never-
you take that first dip down.
I have open heart surgery, so the sign says.
Yes,
if you
yes.
have-
Well, when you're going up, you're actually looking at this wood with these fresh nails in it, and you're like, what did I just get myself involved in?
100 years.
That
man.
first dip, oh man, it hurt my knee really badly. But anyway,
And this they stopped the parachute.
Yes,
But these
yes.
were the iconic.
you could still see this
Yeah.
structure.
They put lighting. They put special.
Yes.
What they did was the Preservation Society or something. They saved
Sure.
it. They never knocked down the structure. So
Right.
it became beautiful because it became an icon piece that you can see.
It's the Coney Island Eiffel Tower.
Yes. And maybe one day they might do something. They might put restaurants up there. You know, with like Windows of the World.
Yeah, like they're fixing up the Sky Pavilion in the World's Fair.
Yeah, that's the one. I have a long time
The
ago.
Sky
when-
Pavilion from
yeah.
Men in Black movie.
Yes, but maybe one day they can build a restaurant, something. They go up there. In the middle will be like an elevator and everything.
Is
you
this
know.
also an original like?
Or
image
casino? Because they're
from
trying to bring casinos.
back when Trump was trying to do that in the 90s.
So this is my favorite. Again, believe it or not, that I did this piece. I think 10 days before the show started. And I said I was inspired. I said I gotta do this.
In the
Once-
70s, a lot of gangs used to come to congregate at Coney
My
Island.
brothers were in gangs.
Okay.
They were in the Turban Saints. So we went Easter.
Okay.
We went in Easter, 1976.
Right.
And when we
People
got
would
off,
show their
when
colors,
we got
come out
off, and then we
springtime.
were dressed in regular clothes, civilian. We were gonna have to go play, you know. And one of the guys said, "Yo, look, the fucking Nagy from the Turban Saints." We never went to enjoy ourselves. We got
Right,
chased,
'cause
just like the Warriors.
Gangs from all over the city would come in springtime to show their colors
Yes.
down in
so
Coney
I
Island.
didn't go to Coney Island for 5 years. So this is the year that happened, 1977.
Are you moving to this one?
No, I'm
Oh,
not
you-
moving
you-
in.
okay.
So once again, this is from an old poster.
Yes.
And I revamped it, and I used the same letters, the same thing, and the same colors of the houses, and everything. That's the famous guy. I don't know what's his name. Jerry. I don't know. We're gonna go here. Once again, this one wanted to be different. Very rare I work with different, but I wanted to work abstract. And if you look, you see the blue lines, everything. You see it, and then I
Yes,
added,
there's that first dip on the Cyclone.
and then I added glitter. I work with glitter.
Okay,
it
I
could
see it, like
could-
fireworks.
It could look like the explosion of fireworks. So when you look, and then famous.
Sprinkles.
Remember back in the days, anywhere you go in Coney Island, you see the plane
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
with the back and forth. You know, he used to get paid 8 hours to drive us in the you know,
Sure.
the sand.
While you were eating a sandwich with sand all in it that your mom
Yes.
packed for you.
So this I once again I took you look at the track work, look at the detail, look at the people. I just wanted to get into, but it all had to do the abstract art, and I love the plane, the detail in the plane. But anyway, we're gonna go here. Big story here. This is called community service. When you were 15 years or less, and you get arrested, you don't go to jail, whatever. So you do what they call, either you pay a fine or you do community service. So this was community service. And this was me and Mino, and this is the manifest, and they call your name, they give you your gloves and the liquids, and then you go and scrub. Then once you scrub with the chemicals, you leave it like that, it will start fading down. Then the train from here will start going inside these, like a car wash type of thing. And you see the things buffering.
Chemicals and stuff.
The chemicals, yeah.
So Mino was in Ex-Vandals,
Yes,
and you were in Mafia.
yeah. The Magnificent Seven, the Backyard Boys, and the TSK.
Yes, I see. There's TSK, Stone
Yeah,
Killers,
he was in TSK too.
Mino.
This guy was everywhere. Is the Wiz.
Is the Wiz. Yes, rest in peace to Is the Wiz.
So this is the Coney Island train yard, and if you when you are riding on the car, you can see going to Kennedy Airport.
Right. And who's this over here?
The police vandal squad. He's directing traffic. He's watching these guys work. You know, some of them go and they don't do anything.
And this is a 3D piece, which is
Yeah,
coming out at
It was
us.
experimental. It was experimental, and it came out to a 3-piece. Very rare because that's a very hard piece to do. To add something to a painting, to a canvas, you have to fasten it, and there's like wood in the back. I had to pick fasteners and make a little small drill and put little bolts, and it's not gonna come down. It's not. This one, the same thing. Are we ready?
Were these
Bumper
made
cars.
around the same time?
No. I want to show you something here. This is the famous bump your ass off. The bumper cards. Once again, the freaks are inside, and they smashed him so hard that he got ejected out of the car. He's landing that way. His monkey got lost. They got the car piled up. But look at this. I'm gonna put, when I take it back, I'm adding a Bluetooth into here, so if you buy the painting, you can take your cell phone and you can pump music out of here. I already set up the lighting.
That is so awesome. And how did you do that? Would you get the electric or the batteries in there?
Batteries here. These come from those hats for New Year's. Yeah, $5 hats. So I bought a couple of them, and I have them in my house. So whenever I need lighting,
You told me how you find use for everything. When you're out walking around, you see a piece of wood. Oh, I can use that there. Oh, that's
look at
a
that
piece
styrofoam.
of... Yes.
Look at this. I can use, and that's what happened. I bought the hat. My son said, "Papi, where you bought those lights?" I said, "Those hats that we celebrate."
Yeah.
Now we don't even throw them away because we still got them. You understand? But it had the lights. So what I did was I did the wiring through the inside here, and it went like this, way that way. Look how beautiful. Now I got 3 different speeds, different ways. Look, you got this one, fast, blinking. Then you got this one, flickering, and this is the one that I like. No, I don't like this one. I like the second one. This one. That's the one that looks like. Imagine with the music in this, people be bugging out for a minute. So I put the authentic, the rubber tie, because when the cars turn and you hit that, you won't hit the columns.
Sure.
So once again, look at the cars.
Yes.
I did my research on those cars, and that's the way they look. I don't know who makes them, but they're nice colors.
Yes. Usually you didn't get too far in the cars because everybody was just bumping you around.
Some people just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just bumping. You didn't get nowhere.
No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to listen to the music and go around, but then, what is wrong with you?
I'm hitting you.
Yeah, driver, disgruntled guy come off there, hit him with my hand, shoot him in the way he says I'm upset. So we hit everything here.
Well, we got this
We're gonna
main
go-
piece,
This is beautiful.
the diorama.
Hi, I'm the artist. Yeah, but I have to go to Central Booking on Monday. So today's my last day. Okay. This is 1977, and this is 4th of July weekend. If you can say the police presence is big.
What year?
1977,
Okay, the year after the bicentennial.
yes. And at that time, Kansas Chicken was out of business already. The
Okay.
Show Hotel was still out of business. And this building was condemned. They knocked this building down, the Henderson building, in 2005.
Okay.
They came and they built the stores that they got what they call Popeyes there. They got something called All Sugar, and they got the Brooklyn Nets and all that. They went out a bit Models and that in that strip.
Go to mold.
Yeah.
Gotta go to Mo.
They even have Wild Burgers.
Okay. So for example, these Matchbox or Hot Wheel cars. So a lot of these.
These are
I'm
not
sure.
Hot Wheels or Matchbox.
Right.
These are special. These companies come from a company up in Los Angeles, and their cars can cost me $15 to $20 each.
Wow. The orange truck and the bus. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't come from Canada.
okay.
But look at the Cadillac, look at their tires, look at their hubcaps, look at the detail.
Yes. It's 77.
Now, let's go with that car over there in the middle. You see, you can tell that's a Hot Wheel car.
Okay.
You see the tires? That's kind of like those bubblegum factory generic tires.
Yes.
Look at the taxi. You see the taxi? Look at those wheels. Look at the Ferrari Testarossa. Look at those wheels with the. I customize some of these cars. I strip them, and I customize it. And I put little what they call mufflers and all that kind of stuff. The truck, you see the truck? I weather it. To make it look
That's
like-
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. So
to make
what
it-
do you call this piece?
This piece is called Coney Island Summer Black.
So this is
That's why I got that name.
the name of the show.
Yeah, because it's a 4th of July weekend. And I want you guys to look at this for a minute. Come, this is the Henderson building. Look at the front entrance. Look at that architect that it took me so long to build it. You see, like that vestibule.
Yeah.
And look at the Eiffel Tower. Of you see, that's why those buildings. That building was that second floor. It's a hotel.
How long have you been making this? How
Oh, the
many months?
turret you're referring to,
Yeah,
right?
the
On
turret.
the top, yeah.
How
Yeah.
many months though? How many months?
It took me almost a little bit like 14 months.
So you worked on this for over a year, and it looks like you definitely did. I mean, look at the Nathans. I mean, you took a lot of time with this, Inca. I'm very impressed with this. The guys in his
The weather.
he's ordering a hot dog in his bathing suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You-
and look, you see the fire alarm box and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I made it myself. You
those-
see the public phones?
Yes.
You can't find those.
No.
They don't sell them in HO. Look I made them. You gotta see it this way. The public phone in the corner.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
There's
Yes.
another one over here.
An Optimo.
You see where the cop cars at? There's another public phone right there.
Yeah, I see it right there. Wow.
An old school.
Yeah. Now
Blue
you see
and
that
white
little
cop
guy-
car?
That little
Just take a
shopping
picture, it's
cart.
gonna be gone.
I did that shopping cart. The guy's he's selling the beach balls.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
And he's dressed
And
like
they're
a clown.
$2 each.
Yeah, he's dressed like a clown. You see his color? Look at his pants, all polka dot. And his face all white. He's dressed like trying to get the kids' attention.
It's like you capture your own image with your eyes.
And you know what those balls
Remember,
come
this
from?
is a good memory.
You know the needles that you put so you can, if you want,
Lapel?
They come in different height. Those beautiful colors. You see
The bus is awesome. It's a 1970s bus all the way.
Yes, but I'm
Not like our electric buses now.
I weather it and I put all the advertising.
Yes.
The Jello, the Irish Spring, the Boyardee.
And if you were cool, you went right to the back of the bus. That's where all the teenagers were smoking pot out the back window. Yeah, riding all along that
Nice.
big long back seat.
Look it down there where it says BMT. You see all the people coming out of the subway station?
Yes.
Yeah.
I made it like a ramp.
Yo,
Yeah.
Well, you notice.
no, I noticed that because the sign right there is
So what is that? Irish Spring on the side? Yes, Irish Spring.
it's like I recognize it now.
What are you talking
The
about?
pictures right there. You see the signs, the OPTI
Optimo.
Optimal. Yeah, Optimal. I recognize it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Optimal was
Yes.
a famous. Everybody used to
Yeah.
buy their Easy Water Bamboo and everything.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And their
Smoke shop.
Yeah.
They're still around, Optimos. You can find them around
Yeah,
the city.
and those signs, they pay a lot of money for those signs now. And let me tell you something. The famous, you know that candy, the apple with the dip with the red
Oh yeah.
candy coated apples.
Candied
This-
apples,
Yeah,
yes.
this guy was famous for that, and he had some type of waffle, and taffy.
Caramel
Yeah.
was around it.
Yeah,
yes.
with peanuts or something on
Yes,
it.
they dip it in the
And
nuts.
then
Yes.
had
But now the business like today, that's on that side. It's on the Nathan side.
yeah, it's on the Nathan side, but that guy went out of business. That restaurant went out of business. Now you see Applebee's and all that on that strip.
Yeah,
They
okay.
they revamped it. They took the Coppertone sign off and they made it into a higher level.
Now, of course, the Nathans is still there.
The Nathan's is the only building
Right.
that's still the same from 1977.
How about that bathhouse from the Warriors? Is that still up?
I wonder if they'll get it. They should make a movie theater, a theater, or some type of a place to have concerts or something in the. Because Coney Island's always having something.
Yes.
They do, and a lot of people want to buy stuff. They want to go into the parks everywhere. It's like this would be a good place where a lot of people could come, even in the summer. If they're too hot, go to the movie theater if that happens. But this is.
So you guys got any questions? You can start asking.
I'm just very impressed. I'm so glad I came down.
I have no words.
Question. So, what sort of inspired the three-dimensional work? When did you wanted to just add that addition to
I'm
it?
gonna tell you what inspired me. I was in my living room, and I had my TV, my big TV, and then I had the wall in front of it, and I said, I want to make something. I want to make something that comes out of the wall. You know, I was thinking like something out of the wall, you know, like it, and it dawned me, because usually when you go to bed, instead of thinking about paying the rent, you know, like I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do my next project. You're always thinking, an artist,
A true artist.
any artist, and in music, you know, they come down with their pajamas and it's 4 a.m. and then their pianos and I got the keys, you know, or the lyrics, or that you become perfect. You hone your skill that way.
Yes.
Yeah, you hold your creative freedom.
And that's when it comes to you sometimes.
Yes.
When you.
And that's why I got that little pad on my desk and I write if I have to write. So I said, let me get something out of, and when I closed it, I started thinking. And I said, I'm gonna do a train coming out of that wall. But I wanted something bluish, sky. So when I put that painting in the living room, it looked like you're looking at the sky. But when I'm laying down in my recliner looking at TV, it looked like that's on top of my head. It looked like this. It gave it that look. It looks disgusting, right? But then again, it looks pretty.
But this aqua here, which really is on some of the highways like this,
Yeah.
it brings out the blue and the white magnificently.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that paint at that era was that paint that if you eat it, the kids eat it.
A lead-based paint.
Lead-based paint. Because everything you painted back in the 50s, it was always that
Oh,
ugly,
yeah.
ugly green.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
even
yeah.
the fences, you know, people paint the fences that it was lead paint. Because, and then I love the idea when you see TWA.
The old TWA. What
Yeah.
year was that?
No. Kennedy Airport, you know? Look at this Spearman, Salem, Café El Pico, Newport 100s.
Oh.
You see, there's really advertising in here. And look at all the tag, Primo, POG, Mino, Yes 7, KS3. Watch out for the closing doors.
Stand clear.
Were you always creating dioramas?
I did dioramas when I was 15, because I wanted to play with my Matchboxes. You know
There you
that
go.
I didn't play with my brothers.
Really?
No, we played it because my brothers, I like playing by myself.
Yeah.
Do you play with your brothers?
I have a sister.
But we play some things like football and
Yeah.
baseball. But when it came to army soldiers or something
Sure.
like that, I'll play by myself because it's my army, it's my fight. I'm gonna do my own war.
It was all your
Yeah,
creative
I
universe.
forget
Yeah.
my brother, he's cheating. I said, no. He would throw something and he starts laughing, you know?
This painting is like almost like a combination. It's a diorama and also a painting. Like, I'm just curious how that naturally just occurred to you, just to create a diorama inside a painting.
Yes.
Is that something you're gonna continue to work
No,
with?
I'm not gonna work because a lot of people are sort of apprehensive having a piece like this because they feel that they might walk into it or something happens. I don't know what. But let me tell you how far I went. I was gonna put lights in this. Then one day, I started thinking of making this whole train, this whole thing,
Yes.
and to put it in a casing made out of the same material. Make a whole train with lights and people sitting in the trains. You know,
Cool.
the figures.
Yeah.
And make the whole thing.
Yeah.
People dressed up and all that, and make a diorama, but a life size, a big model that people can look inside, and then imagine me finding all the little posters, googling them, you know, El Pico Cafe and all that, and then it would be great. I was gonna use real plastic for the chairs.
That would have been awesome too.
You know,
that would definitely be awesome.
The metal, so because you can find metal in you know those electronic stores when you work that you put wiring inside to bend the metal to, I don't know.
That was wow. I remember
Yeah.
that. My father used to buy one of those. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
they got a thing on Micro Center, and they got all that stuff.
Here's one of the newer, the M.
Yes.
Because now it's the.
Now it's like an
I lost
MTA.
my mind for a minute. What is MTA? The M is
Metropolitan Transit.
Metropolitan.
Yeah. But it's like MTA, but that's what came after TA, right?
Yes. Yes.
Let me see. You see these trains? The Brightliners.
Yes, with the chains in the
Yeah.
front and.
And the wires. Yo, this is so cool right here. I love this.
The barbed wire.
Yeah, the barbed wire. Wow.
Yeah, they weren't playing. They really wanted to keep the kids out. They had no. They had even the fence is.
Yeah, but
got
we
some
had two.
mesh
We cut the
there.
fence in.
Yeah.
Surveillance it was different back
No,
then.
nothing was stopping his generation. They were not going to be stopped. And I remember as a young kid, again born in 1970, you're 5, 6, 7, and you see these things when you enter onto the train, and then the characters would start to come, and you're seeing these fantastic characters alongside this name. And my dad hadn't even taken me to the Metropolitan Museum of Art yet. I'm seeing the art show on the train. But that's what we're going in for, the museums. And it was just like, I got to be in the front of that train. And what's that name? And what's that name? So it really caught everybody's attention, not just the adults and the cops,
Of course.
you know?
You were lucky you grew up in the 70s. Me, I didn't exist. But you guys,
I'm the artist.
even in the 70s.
We were a
big
tough
there.
generation. We had,
How we
man,
doing?
the jungle gyms were concrete, the seesaws were hardwood, like
No iPhones, no iPads.
none of that. And we
nothing.
stayed out all day until the street lights came on or your mother called you from the window.
Imagine
I mean, you
staying-
stayed out all day.
Stay in the street.
We didn't play video games inside. No, we were playing Ring of Levio, Manhunt,
Yeah, we had the thing. Then we played
British
over there.
Bulldog,
Yeah.
all these. We were
Kings.
all
Remember
day long.
Kings?
Yes.
It's like you're outside right there back in the 70s. That was like your playground. Like you don't have
Yeah.
anything, no technology,
Yeah.
but you have your paint, you got your art, and you got your vision.
Steal the
You can
bacon.
do it.
And at the school parks, you saw the older kids rolling dice. The pretty high school girls were smoking cigarettes. The handball courts were never empty. And literally, you could be 10th in line to have next on that court. You know, the handball courts are empty now. I don't know what the kids are doing.
Oh my God, this is so amazing. I don't care what other people say, but Lewis, you are a
Alright, take
real
a picture of
artist.
these guys.
You are the true
You guys
artist.
follow me on Instagram?
Because the way I see it, it's like every vision that he puts right
I'm gonna take a
there.
picture of
Yes.
It's like he paints it.
Yes.
And then with every different primary color, he sees it through his vision. And the sky right there.
Yes.
At nighttime.
And then
So-
let's not forget, he's alumni from the High School of Art and Design. You're
That's
talking about
the-
such famous writers